Happy One Wheel Wednesday, everybody. My name is Scot Mendenhall. Welcome to the Scot Mendenhall and Friends podcast, where we document life, the adventures with friends, and one wheels. We're really stoked about our guests today. We're going to get to them a little bit. We have in the studio, we have my beloved wife, Holly. How are we doing today?
I'm doing really good. It's nice and sunny out. Looks great. How are you?
Hey, I'm ready to rock and roll. Hey, here's the beautiful thing about today. A week from today, we'll be down in Dirt Surfers environment.
Wait.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet.
Cannot wait.
So if you're not signed up, seriously, get on with getting signed up for Dirt Surfers. We also are joined by the very pregnant Lily Arnold.
Hello.
How we doing?
I'll be there too. I wore my Dirt Surfer shirt today.
So appropriate. We're gonna get.
I'm so excited to be there. I love it there.
We're gonna get the new version.
Yeah.
We can't show it. We've seen it. I mean, Nick can share it if he wants, but we've seen all the new. Woo! It's sweet. Dirt Surfers t-shirts.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, you haven't? I'll show it to you a little bit later. Dirt Surfers t-shirts, Dirt Surfer volunteer t-shirts, and their jerseys all primed, ready to go next week. If you're brand new to the racing community, Dirt Surfers is a premier race location. It is so much fun.
In Arkansas.
So many people come to spectate. So you don't even need to be a rider. You just come and enjoy the vibes on top of a mountaintop in Eureka Springs. It is wonderful. Nick and Rachel do a fabulous job down there. They already have tractors down there, or I should say pieces of equipment, tearing up some trails to make them better, smoother, faster. It's going to be a wonderful time. Here's one of the things you need to know about Dirt Surfers. We've got Chameleon Rails. They posted this just the other day as a reminder. We have the post for you, so you know right from the get-go. Here it is. The first 100 to check in. I can't read it because I got something in front of me, but to check in, to get their swag bag and all that, get that stuff. Can you read the first 100?
Well, yeah, to check in on Friday, May 16th, we'll receive limited printed Dirt Surfers Enduro Series drawstring bag and
she's reading from the other side of the studio.
Rad racing.
We got it.
Does that say bagel?
Don't sleep on this
Not
opportunity.
Bagel. Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that.
Racing badge.
I thought it said bagel.
It's on the other side of the studio.
I read in carbs.
For some reason, Lily doesn't have her iPad over here, so she can't see it.
Oh, it's right here.
Oh, my goodness.
We talked about
Doesn't
this with
say
both
bagel.
Nick and with Kevin, that they are doing this Dirt Surfers series, so you're going to get a badge.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's
You want to get in on it, don't sleep on this. Don't be
show up
lollygagging
to
on
check
Friday.
in at what time? Do we know?
I don't know that information, but that's a week from this Friday, so
You'll know.
Yeah,
You'll get
you'll
emails.
Okay. So that said, there's so much more news we want to talk about. We're going to get to that. But our guests today, they are kicking off. We're going to get all the hot news on this. I got their sticker right here. Can we go to the close-up real quick? See if it's in focus at all. There we go. Get Stoked Magazine. One, I love the pink and the blue. Okay, I just wait. It looks like our back. It looks like that.
You like pink and blue?
Yeah, I just think it looks so good. It's so good. But we're going to get all the lowdown on that. So we're going to introduce a duo that has got creativity oozing from their brain. Their style of writing is different, but so complementary to each other. One is on the older end and the younger end. That's what's going to make this such a beautiful collab in the magazine world. They're going to bring to us the information we are dying to see in print and so much more. We're excited to have on our podcast today, Cricket and Brad, everybody. Put your hands together for the duo.
All right.
All the way out in San Diego. Are they unmuted, Epic? Make sure they're unmuted. Okay. How you boys doing?
Hey, how you doing?
You sound so good. All other guests need to take note on how good you guys sound today. Well done. Yeah. And you sound great. Okay, for those that don't know who's who, so because I just introduced both of you, I know who you are, but the rest of the world, who is who, and how long you've been riding a one wheel. So I'll let
I'm Cricket. I've been riding my one wheel since 2020. So 5 years October.
Nice. Okay. Next.
I'm Bradford or Brad, or sometimes they call me B-Rad. Depends, I guess, if you're on Facebook. I'm Bradford. I've been riding one wheel since about 2000, the end of 2017.
Okay.
Awesome.
So you've been around for a while. Guys, the background is sweet. All of the skate ramps and the one wheels just put around. That's well done. Just makes me want to be where you are. Not because you're in San Diego area, but
It looks like a fun place.
Yeah, it is. This is Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland. Yeah.
Disneyland. We're creating
Okay.
Disneyland.
yeah,
That's funny.
that's great. Cricket, I'm sure people
Yeah.
want to know, how did you get the name Cricket?
Oh man. So
That's so funny. If you weren't
You
looking,
can make that
Hey,
noise.
but it's a podcast. If somebody just is listening, they thought they heard a cricket. It was the fact that
Wait, can we try something?
he made that with his mouth.
Can we try something? Okay.
yeah.
Holly,
Oh, dear.
say a joke.
Oh yeah, okay, get this.
Why-
I can't think of one right now. But you always have jokes in your arsenal.
There's 2 sausages in a frying pan. One sausage looks over at the other and says, "Man, it's getting hot in here." The other sausage said, "Ah, a talking sausage!"
There it is.
It was so hard for
That
me
was
not
funny,
to
though.
laugh.
yeah,
It was so hard
it is
for me
pretty
not
funny
to
joke.
laugh.
Wow, that's
So is that like you could do that in elementary school and got the name, or like when did you
No,
discover
so I
this
learned-
talent?
I learned it from a dude I knew in college because I was a theater minor in college.
That's awesome.
So this guy did it, and I was obsessed with it. I was like, "Whoa, how did you do that?" And
Yeah.
he told me this. He told me the trick to it, and then it took me like 2 weeks of trying to just like going around with my lips pierced, trying to do the noise in college. And so I'm sure that looked kind of weird, but basically
And
he
that's
told me
it.
to just gargle and whistle. Like that's how you do it.
That's impressive. It sounds so legit. It really
Yeah.
does.
Gargle and whistle.
Whistle at the same. Here's the deal. We're
I'm
not
not
going
even gonna
but
try that
when
right
we're
now.
off air today,
I might
you
give
know
that a
that we're
go.
all going to be trying this. Okay, gargle and whistle. My kids for sure are going to do this, and then they're going to spit water everywhere because they're going to put water in their mouth. Thank you, Cricket. for
That-
that.
Thanks for
and then
sharing
I'll
that.
come find you, Cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
going along with that.
But then
little
that is
skit there.
stuck. Now that you can make the sound, your old name gone, your new name, at least in this community, everyone knows you as Cricket, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, like my real name's Cody, and everybody knows that. But cricket's just kind of what I stuck with. Like it just kind of happened around 2015,
Yeah.
and then I was really heavy in the music industry up in Portland. So I decided that I would just go by a stage name for that,
Okay.
and then it just kind of became a personality that I adapted to really well. You know, so it's like okay. Cool, and then I just went with cricket, and it's been like that ever since.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Brad, anything cool about your name? That I mean, it's like having the name Scott, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, pretty common name, I guess.
Yeah.
I like Bradford.
Not a lot of people I meet are Bradfords though. So
This is true. If your full name is
Yeah.
being used, yes. It's just when
Yeah.
you have sitting next to someone with the name Cricket, it's like, how do
You
I?
can't compete.
Yeah. Okay. So
well-
let's get.
yeah, for sure.
So you have the Get Stoked logo behind you on both sides out there, and it looks so good. What's the for those that are early on? Okay, I don't even know what this is.
I
Get
don't know
Stoked
what it is.
What is the Get Stoked magazine? Has there already been an issue out? How early are we in the process? Just give us a little bit of that. So those listening are going, okay, what is this? And how do I get a part of this? We'll ask some more of those questions. But what is the Get Stoked magazine?
Yeah, I could take that. So the Get Stoked magazine is just a paper print magazine that we get to get stoked about. Like it something that it signifies our lifestyle, our culture. You know, really what it is fostering culture. Because there's a big thing that like I learned not that long ago is that it's not a photo until it's printed. And right now, you know, we're in a pretty saturated digital market, and it's kind of nice to have something tangible to hold space, to hold
Yep.
history instead of having to scroll through it. And I just that
Yeah.
was something that really sparked it. We don't have any physical copies just yet, but we did submit to the printers. So it's just a matter of a couple weeks, and then we're gonna have these things available and ready the first go around.
We're actually receiving our
A hard copy proof.
hard copy proof tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Wow,
we've been
that's
at it for-
exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
been at it for a week and a half, really dialing it up and
Mhm.
polishing it, making it look very professional. I think for me with the magazine, the thing when we came up with well, we've known for a while that the sport needed a center like a magazine,
Yeah.
because other sports like skateboarding, surfer, what Severson did with surfer in the 60s, it is like a central point to a certain like board culture or extreme sports culture, that you can go to this one place and branch off into other things off of it. Like we go on social media, it takes so much time just to search for stuff you're
Right.
looking for, your friends and things like that. Be able to have this one printed book that's around forever,
Right.
you know, as a free, it doesn't dissolve, with these actual photos that kids can tear out, or, you know, eventually have posters and you can put up on your walls like we did when we were kids.
Yeah. I mean,
And it just grows everything to the outsiders so they can really see in and really see that we're a diverse culture of esports in general.
yeah. So will this be primarily one wheels? Is it gonna? Because what is your tagline? Is it on something about one wheel
So
or
the world of single wheel sports is
There
this
you go.
issue that goes into, yeah.
there you go. So
Yeah.
is it going to go to EUCs and stuff? Because when it says that, it does kind of widen it a little bit, or is it one wheels?
There are some EUCs in this issue, for
Yeah.
sure. There's
So-
some
That's
riders
cool.
and whatnot.
Yeah, I can kind of divulge a little bit on that too, because we're trying to really think about not just within our community and celebrating the community. It's about celebrating the community to people outside of the community. And let's just use one wheel specific, because obviously we have hybrid riders, and we have EUC riders that we're definitely heavily entangled with. And so we started out with this first issue being the arena that we primarily know, which is, you know, one wheels. And then, you know, there was so much content that we actually couldn't fit everything in the first magazine. We just couldn't. So it was like, okay, well, let's do a second issue. And then this idea formulated to where we're like, well, let's open up the scope a lot more instead of just a little more. So we went to EUCs. So like the next issue is going to have a nice balance of like how many one wheelers we have versus EUCs in the first one. And then it moves to the second one and it kind of flips around. And it allows us to kind of show a growth pattern in that aspect. So the whole goal is to broaden the scope to EVs in general.
Yeah.
Over time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was like, who do we ride in groups with?
Mhm.
Like in San
Yep.
Diego, we're in group rides and things like that. I know in Portland, like it's not unusual for us to be riding with EUCs and even e-skates and e-bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So to like, they're part of our community.
Right.
Like, and they're at events. EUCs are at
Yeah.
the events. We're keeping track of them for the magazine. I mean, there's,
It makes sense.
I don't know.
It
Yeah.
makes sense. It makes sense. I just saw the tag and it was like, asking for clarification on that. And so you're to print, get a template or prototype of the magazine tomorrow-ish. When do you hope to have the first issue hitting people's doorsteps then?
About
in
2
a-
weeks.
2 weeks.
2 to 3.
Okay.
I would say 2 to 3.
Yeah, two
2
to three, depending on the mail.
Yeah,
I
right.
think what makes this so cool and unique is that it's literally the only one of its kind.
Yeah.
And like, especially in this space. And there's so many young riders that don't even have a concept of what it means to get a magazine in the mail, something that they're really interested in, you know, like I'm thinking about all those girly magazines
That
I
you
had
did.
that I had growing up and that I loved. But I think like
Mhm.
this will just be a unique thing that the community will talk about, a unique way to get information out, or, you know, like you guys have such agency with this, and I think it could be really cool for the community.
I agree.
Yeah. And that's
yeah.
the biggest thing about it is we just want to be a part of the community in celebrating it, you know,
Yeah.
and celebrating everybody's achievements, goals, accomplishments, where they're at in their riding style or their racing format, you know, where they're at in their standings or where they're at in just the whole community in general. And so,
Especially for those people that aren't connected via social media or say like, you know, Facebook, whatever. There's a lot of people out there that just, that's not the avenues they get information for. And
Yeah.
this kind of helps spread the love, so to speak,
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, the magazine is what it's named. It's like Get Stoked. It's all about stoke.
Yeah.
It's about that spark.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So-
Kids are gonna have this on their Christmas list, you guys.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how fun is that?
The hopes
That's
is
so
this-
cool.
We're planning on a Grom edition around that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it's so
we're
fun.
gonna try our best. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know quite yet, but we're trying to do a Grom's only issue.
I would imagine there might be some Mendenhall kids in there. Considering.
The odds are
Maybe.
high.
Maybe.
That's so
pretty
funny.
high,
They're
yeah.
really cute.
Especially after the race results this year. Good Lord.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see what the stories are told in the magazine, because there are a lot. Even us is doing a digital podcast. There's a lot of stories, and it's like, how do we get them all out there? How do you, like us lining up our schedule? Because it's like, hey, our time slot to do this podcast is Wednesdays. There's a bunch of people that can't do Wednesdays, so we just miss their stories, whereas a magazine can come pick it up, and then I can pick up the magazine. I'm stoked to get the first edition. I'm pretty sure it'll go through the house, and kids will start cutting out pictures and put them in their bedroom, because that's what they do. In our house, you go
You got to buy more than one.
I do, yeah.
You
yeah.
might
Bye,
need
bye.
to.
Well,
There you go.
we will start with the one, and they can put that on their Christmas list. It'll be, but we're stoked to be able to have that, because exactly what you said is what we see our kids doing. They rip pictures out and put them on the wall of different things that inspire them throughout their bedrooms, and so that's a great idea. I remember doing that growing up with Tony Hawk. And
Yep.
Bob
Yeah.
Bergenquist and those guys, Danny Way, putting them on the wall, because when you got a shot of what you them landing this trick for the first time, when Tony Hawk did his 900, to have a picture of him flying in the air was like mesmerizing. Or Travis Pastrana
That's sick.
on his dirt bike, right? So I can see it, and I'm stoked for it. So, okay, before
I
we
was just gonna say that Legend just had put in the chat earlier that we're going back to America's roots.
magazines,
And he-
American-
I don't think
coming
he's
from
ever.
him.
I don't ever think he's bought a magazine,
It's-
but like we did all the
it's totally
time.
right.
So it's
That's
pretty
But there's-
totally
funny.
right. Like he was Thrasher, I was Surfer. I mean, if I
Yeah.
was a Surfer
That's awesome.
when I was living in Illinois in the corn, I wouldn't be
Wait,
sitting
you're
here in
from
San
Illinois?
Diego.
Where in
Originally,
Illinois?
yeah.
There you
Oregon,
Where at?
Illinois.
Where?
Oregon, Illinois.
All right.
Oregon.
yeah,
Nice.
You put a mirror on the other side of the town and you double the population.
yeah, is that
go.
right?
Oh, that's
Is that
totally.
right?
That's such like a
That's how-
Midwest thing of you to say.
yeah.
So Holly and I grew up in
Yeah,
Peoria,
there you
Illinois.
go.
We're from
Okay.
Peoria, yeah. So we
Yeah,
know
all right.
Good old cornfields.
Yep.
So I have a question.
land of Lincoln.
If someone
Yes,
has,
sir.
and I know this is like new, we're in the phases of developing this, but if someone has like a submission or something that they want
Oh,
to
good call.
pitch for, to be in the next month's edition, I'm assuming they're monthly. How would they do that?
Yeah, well, it's quarterly. There'll be
Okay.
4 a year.
Nice.
God, we could have enough information to go monthly, but I mean,
Yeah.
who knows?
It's a lot of that comes down to workforce. It's
Yeah,
literally
for
just
sure.
him and
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
We
we
get
have
it.
collaborators. but
I. Yeah, true. We do.
Yeah.
We do have people.
we
who
have other
helped us
people that are
write.
writing articles that have written in this one. And then to answer the question, we have is it 3 or 4 pages in this one?
4.
4 pages that are community submission pages.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And we have on the Instagram and stuff, one of the websites there is for a Google form, and you could submit an article, or maybe it might be a photo or some artwork, and that goes in those pages. And then we feature different communities
Yeah.
throughout the country and the world in an article in the magazine as well.
Yeah, so if submissions are all welcome, basically from anybody. And one correction, I didn't mean to say it was just him and I, because we do have people that we rely on heavily that we've made relationships with to help us grow the content from a multiple facet than just our opportunity. So I
And
just wanted to
they were
correct
doing
myself
it
on that.
secretly for about 2.5 months before we even revealed what we were doing. We had NDAs out like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
but
Yeah.
Well,
We started this in December.
when you're talking about it's the two of you, I think what I'm hearing is at the end of the day, you guys are putting it all together. You have a lot of people helping you get to
Yes.
that process.
Yes.
So that
So where
makes
do
Absolutely.
where do they find that Google form?
Okay, so it is on our Instagram. I just took it off today because we just have to make a couple little updates as far as information that helps us know who is sending what, because that was
Oh,
a
yeah.
hurdle we ran into.
And it will be on the website soon too.
Yeah, and it'll be on the website soon. So you're more than welcome to submit. We have an area for it. If we have the room for it, we have an area for that voice, whether that be a main article, whether that be a community submission, editorial, or anything in between. Like if we see something that we think is really rad, we definitely want to celebrate that.
And we archive it too, so it might not make this next issue because
Yes.
it might be, ooh, this is really good, but this might be good for issue number 5 or 6.
Right.
Because we're pretty planned out with what we're doing.
Yeah.
Great.
So what's the website?
Oh, givemestoked.com.
There you go.
That's
You
where they
guys
can
heard it.
subscribe for the magazine as well, right?
That's what I
That'll
was
be the
gonna ask.
magazine as well.
Yeah,
We're
we have a
adding
shot of that.
pages in the next two weeks. There's going to be more pages. It's going to develop.
Put up the first one, Legend. We have a screenshot. This is what they should see when they go to
Yep.
getmestoked.com, right? So you
Yep.
come in, you'll see this shot, and then you can hit subscribe. And when you hit subscribe, it takes you to the next page where you can. There you go. You got a single issue, quarter, or annual subscription. So these are your 3 tiers that you can get in. And like one of the cool things about this when you're early on and is you're supporting an idea. I like the creativity behind what you guys are doing, and it's like, man, how do we support? I'm stoked that you were coming up today because it reminded me. I'm sure there's heaps of people out there going, got a sticker at one of the events that you guys have been handing out, going, when I get home, I'm going to subscribe, right? And then for me, it was that, and it's like, oh yeah, they're coming on today. I got to finish that and finish subscribing today so that I didn't miss the first issue. I was like, I hope I didn't miss the first issue because I want to be in on it. I want to support what you guys are doing because it's different. It's different for our community. I know the other sports have got this, but we're a baby sport, and we're growing
Yep.
up. And some of these things will help us continue to grow and really tell the stories that are all out there, from the pro level to the groms and everything in between. The moms that are out there riding, because I think that's the beauty of the community. It's bigger than just ORL, and it's bigger than just future motion. Right? It's a whole lot of pieces in this thing, and this is going to help grow it up past those things. Because when we just talked about a second ago, we just talked about people in the sports, the Tony Hawks, the Travis Pastranas. We didn't talk about brands. We talked about people that pushed and progressed the sport.
That's right.
And that's what I think
Yep.
the magazine's going to probably help do really a great deal at, is tell the stories of the individuals in the community.
That's the mission. The mission has
Yeah.
always been early on is how do we create this avenue where our own athletes are out there getting sponsorships that are correct and that we're able to support the events to get the recognition that they deserve, that we can change the ORL, tag of a typical ORL or classic ORL to something else. I mean, when we realized, like when we were comparing ourselves to other sports that we would consider baby sports too, that were small, we were actually larger in size then. It was pretty crazy. There's
Wow.
other sports out there that get a lot of attention, but are smaller than we are. And I think it's just because we're not presenting it to everybody. Curling, something like, speed kiteboarding, that sort of thing.
Okay,
which
maybe that's
is
what you were
like
talking
in the
about.
Olympics,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
fair statement, is that for whatever reason, either the sport hasn't, in community, hasn't hit the right people to help it be a tipping point, right? Like it's a lot of effort still for everybody to keep it moving. At some point, it's going to tip and go down the other side of the hill, and it's going to take off. And it's like these other sports, either they knew the right people and it helped them, like curling. If you're into curling, it's a great sport, but it's like, seriously, how is it got just world eyes on that? Whereas like one wheeling EUC it feels just like a niche thing, which it isn't, but it feels that way. Right? It feels niche, but it's not. It's a and I think so. The magazine's going to bring. I think you got to get eyes on this sport. I think that's some of the. I won't want to use the word issues, but some of the problem to the sport is on the racing side. You go off into the woods, and no one sees the race. You just see the results, and that's
especially in an enduro, sure.
yeah. And enduro, like I'm not posting as a kid. I'm not posting the results in my bedroom of just the results, right? I want pictures
Yeah.
of the pros and pictures of that side of thing. And again,
sure.
the magazine will assist in that in a massive way. And I like how
Yeah, the
Legend.
story's got to be told. Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
the stories have got to be told.
Well, and I think that's ultimately what pushes things is when people get the stories of who is behind sports and just able to gravitate to somebody, then
Yeah.
it just keeps
Well, it's like
going
you-
and going.
100%. Even in our first issue, I can do a little bit of a sneak peek. In our
Yes,
first
please.
issue, our beloved Shane Autry wrote
Oh,
an
yeah.
article for us,
That's awesome.
and it's how the rail was won.
Nice.
And
Oh,
it's a
That's
little bit of
great.
a palatable sized history of how the race for the rail started.
And
Yeah,
his
that's-
experience going through it.
And his
That's
experience,
great.
yeah, going from the grassroots beginning of it into what it is today.
To now being an
Awesome.
ORL committee member.
yeah.
And then-
That'll be great.
And then, like,
Mm-hmm.
being able, because in a certain aspect we're in a magazine, another aspect we're almost acting as press. Like literally our insurance covers us for that. Like
Rightfully
we're
so.
we're actually Get Stoked Media is the way we set it up.
Yeah.
So being able to keep a tab on certain things are like Zane blowing out everybody at Lemonade on a future motion board. Like that's a milestone for
Right,
for,
right.
women's riders at that weight, whatever. It's a huge milestone. We've had a bunch of them, like just now having the guys out in Europe where they're at the event in Hungary, and then a day later they're at Send at Surrey. That's like 2,400.
No, what was it? Say it was a shred
Or
the Shires.
Shred the Shires. Sorry, sorry.
I
Mark,
love that
Shred the
name of that
Shires.
event.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, and that's like 2,500 miles apart in Europe. That they get their boards
Wow.
from this point to that point. One person they podiumed in both.
That's awesome. When you talk about the Zane thing, when we were out there in Texas and watching that happen, I mean, if I don't remember the exact amount of pro men she beat as well, but there was so many pro men that she beat in her time. It was crazy to watch. And then
So fast.
see it, but that proves the point what we say so much here on our podcast. It is less about the board. It does play a factor. It's more about the rider.
Yep,
for sure.
It really is. Now, I know the board plays into it. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not saying she could go do the same thing on a pint. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
when she's proving that, hey, there's still, we're at the spot of our riders have a really big ceiling still to get to be better as a rider before it's
Yeah.
all the board problem. Like Zane could be approaching that ceiling maybe in that, hey, it's a board problem because her abilities are being held back by it. But that was awesome to watch. Oh, my goodness.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're paying really close attention to the opens this
Yeah.
year because just the way it's been redone with the events and things like it being an open and then ORL is kind of distributed out of, it's really entertaining to pay attention to and kind of drop the board and pay attention to the riders. Don't get me wrong, like the ORL and going to a stock board, there has to be a stock event.
Yes.
Otherwise, there's no baseline.
Correct.
That's like so important.
Right.
But seeing these events with these opens and really paying attention to it's been really cool. I mean, it's actually one of the most entertaining seasons that I've paid attention to in years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what we've been saying on this show as well, is that the new rules and the way it's going is making it entertaining because we're going to learn a lot. We're going to learn a lot about, is it the board? Is it the rider? How much of that is difference? And then you're going to also see how much work did the pros or individuals put in on the off season.
Got it.
Yeah, we hear the
DJ,
sirens. It's all right. It's all right. It's great. As long as they aren't coming in,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where
You
we're
gotta get out of
checking.
this guy's house.
Yeah, I mean it is.
That's
Hey,
true California right there.
yeah, that's what I was
Obama
gonna
pool.
say. Every good skate documentary I've ever seen was
Cops show up.
cops showing up and get out of the out of the swimming pool.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah,
We're in the place it started, yeah, for sure.
yeah. But I think this year it has already shaped up to be one of the more entertaining ones, even to watch how the pros play it, not going to all the events. You don't see Luke Austin at every event all of a sudden that's already happened, or Austin Silva and Mercedes Silva. You aren't seeing them everywhere. And so the strategies this year have changed, which is going to be fun to watch and to read about. See what interviews you guys get
For sure.
in those things. So it's going to be really cool.
And maybe not having them everywhere is not such a bad thing, because you're seeing other talent develop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and then those guys like especially Austin and Luke, like they'll take anybody under their wing. So
Yeah.
if they
Absolutely.
see talent developing, stuff like that, when they see them, they're gonna make them even better. That's what I know about those two guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
For
sure.
sure.
We saw that at last year at Race for the Rail, where Luke Austin unfortunately didn't make it out of the first
Yeah, just
race.
bad luck.
It was just an unlucky fall.
Yeah.
But he didn't
Yeah.
pout.
Yep.
He got
No.
brushed himself off, and then he's helping the other pros that he knew on how to get through the features. It was actually wild to just sit there and watch, like genuinely a good human move.
We talked about that
For sure.
like when that all took place. Even some of these, like you're saying, Austin Silva taking people, like the sport is so young, but yet there's such a mature factor that they are like realizing that they're going to be able to show their skills and this and that, but it's more important to go get somebody behind you, and that's what's going to keep pushing it forward when you take these younger kids and teach them how to do it even better, and they're just the starting point of where the sport's at. So it's
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
just grow.
100%.
I think Austin's all about growing the
Yes.
sport.
Well-
I know Luke is too.
Because I think they understand. Most of the pros share the same idea. This is not going to grow if we don't get these Groms and get them to progress as well. You need the Groms. You need the younger ones to come in and go, there is a spot for me. Because if it just rides and dies on the current pros, it's over in a couple years. It just
Absolutely, and
Yep.
I think we're on another growth rate right now. I mean, cricket's gonna take this one over in a heartbeat. Is the trick part?
Yeah.
The trick
Yeah.
is like we're about to come into something really cool, and way overdue. And this is
this
the
is
man
his.
to
This is cricket's expertise.
Bodie and cricket. What they've it's so overdue. I'm so stoked on it.
I agree with that, Brad, because I think a trick competition is easy for you need it to be where spectators can show up. If spectators don't come, the sport doesn't grow either. You need people that aren't racers. Like I never wanted to go backflip a dirt bike, but I wanted to watch Travis Pastrana do it, so it made me a fan.
Yep.
I went to X Games just to watch him do his thing. So we need a place for fans to come in and go, I'm wowed. I want to buy a one wheel just to ride it, but never do the tricks that I see cricket do, which I'm stoked for. The first official one wheel trick competitions in San Francisco, right? Which is
yes.
around the corner. I don't know if this is
May
fake.
31st.
May 31st. We have a shot from their Instagram channel, one wheel. I don't know if they really put. I don't know if they really put
There's
that.
two sanctioned races already, but yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, and did they
Sorry.
have the trick? Let me explain the gram here really quick. This is One Wheel's post. Did they really put that billboard up, or is they're just being funny? Do you know, Cricket?
I actually don't know. I haven't even seen it. So
Okay.
I've been so busy with the magazine. I'm gonna have
Is
to.
that
hit
the
up.
113 ad?
No.
They put out another
it's
one with that.
It's
I
a
mean,
billboard that has.
It's
one
a
with
billboard
freestyle.
right
it might
there.
Be, it might be
wouldn't
real.
doubt it.
Honestly,
It looks real.
Okay.
It might be real.
Because here's what happens if you and we didn't snapshot the other thing. I just wanted to make sure we have eyes on the event that's happening. Their next picture is hilarious in what they do, but they are trying to do something brand new. Was it an ORL trick competition in Texas as well, or was that
So-
it was?
It was a street style, yeah.
So I can give a little bit more information about that. So
That's awesome.
We'll see how in the weeds I get or not. But so basically,
We'll steer you out of
them. Great, thank you. So with Bodie is like the main head of this whole thing, and I know that he's been like mulling it over for a long time. And then I remember I gave him a phone call and was like, "Yo, I've put in a lot of into putting together a nice like introductory skeleton to this, because I think both of us inadvertently from different places saw the need and felt the need to kind of put it together. So he brought me in, which is pretty sick. And so he and I mulled over and are still in development of the scoring systems, the judging criteria. Like, we're putting together something that's really formal. And so when Lemonade happened, that was us going, hey, let's start seeing where this is at. Let's start seeing if our judging system works. And so we've been able
Gotcha.
to sanction that and then get feedback from our judges, what worked, what didn't work, how did this come across, and so we can start making changes that are have an open ear towards
Yep.
feedback and what works best, so we can kind of take those averages and make it more complete. So by doing that, that's just going to be able to help us a lot. So San Francisco, I think that's, not sure what to expect, honestly.
Okay.
But I am expecting that it's going to be a really just super rad time and an amazing opportunity, honestly, to take part in something like that.
Well,
And all the other people who got invited to do as well.
I
And we'll
feel
definitely
like
be covering it.
I feel like San Francisco feels different than the other races because it's a standalone event rented
Yeah.
out, right? Like, it does feel different than those other ones. I didn't even, honestly, and I follow the sport, I didn't realize ORL or Onewheel was doing those trick competitions at those other events. I thought it was something like San Francisco. So we are learning with you here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be under
Life Fest or
what?
Cherokee, they're going to have an actual.
Oh, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
So it's called the Freestyle Onewheel Collective.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
So-
that's the umbrella it's going to sit under. It's not going to be ORL. It's, say that again.
Freestyle.
It's Freestyle Onewheel Collective, and Bodie's. But like I said, Bodie's, he's the one coming up with everything, and it's gonna be pretty dope. And
Okay.
so I think a lot of it too is like, having our Groms in mind, having our community in mind, and something you had said, or Brett had said recently, is like, creating a space for growth,
Yeah.
and being able to take this magazine and tell people about it and get those
Right.
eyes and start seeing what these kids are about to start doing. I mean, Grayson is starting to really push, and like, I really see his growth in how he's riding, and I'm so stoked for him, so it's like,
Yeah.
once we start getting eyes on what it is we're doing, where we're going, and like, that vein just kind of moves in,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty sick.
I think a
So
lot of people out there do tricks like San Diego, like because of Kyle and Wheel Fun stuff here.
Yep.
It's always been like in fact, we were known as street for the longest time until some of us yelled, yo, we got trails, and
yeah.
threw it out there and proved it to the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's not an unusual thing for us to be sitting around and doing curb nudges or like trying to do slides and a bunch of people around.
Well,
Yeah.
the things that are behind you suggest more trick than trail. And so, yeah, just again, a view back there says something is different than riding trails, which I think the sport needs both, because not everybody
Yeah.
wants to go ride trails or
Yeah.
don't have access to them.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is like the trick stuff. I mean, a little like hidden secret is that I don't get to train much for competitions. So, because I've never really been seen as somebody who's overly competitive, but I also like feel like every time I'll go and like practice, I have to go find street spots, and your boards pay a price for street spots when you're
Yeah.
trick riding. And so it really kind of dampens the ability to grow a lot of times. So, I mean, a lot of the things that I do in my riding is all from my background of being a skateboarder since I was 6 years old.
Yeah, we
So,
for all of those at home are like, what's his style? Like, we have a shot here just from his Instagram channel that he will teach all of you if you're watching. Look at this. This is just you mobbing. Just shots of him.
Yeah.
So casual.
Yeah, that was all new. I'd never done any of that.
Before
one-
that moment?
Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so
when-
the launch out, no, that one, the no stall to switch drop, that was definitely, I had worked on that for an hour or two.
Okay.
This spot we got kicked out of, dude. Ledgetopia out of Philly. So we set up this whole run all the way down to it was so good. And we set up We got it like planned out 2 hours ahead of time, and then ended up getting kicked out with security on film day. It was such a bummer.
That is
Aw,
classic
but it's
skateboard
always
move.
the
Yeah.
risk. You run,
Yeah,
right?
that sounds like
Yeah,
scary. And then
it's
here you
good.
are.
Yeah. What?
Oh
This
man.
is so crazy.
What is that?
So that's a whole thing that freestyle skateboarding I was into a lot because I kind of grew up in the countryside, so I had a 2x4 foot square of concrete. So
Oh, I
needed
thought
to-
he said he
I
was
needed
gonna
to
just-
skate.
it's not too
So
bad.
I took on a lot of freestyle skating as a kid. And then, so this is like a foot hook back impossible or back foot impossible in the
Oh, yeah, I knew
skateboarding
that.
terms. But as far as
Nice.
but as
Oh
far
my
as one wheel is
gosh.
concerned, I just call it a foot hook impossible. So it's
That's
just one of those
crazy.
things where
Good
you know
job.
I kind of had that motion it already kind of developed, so I just got to figure the weight out.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I gotta ask when I'm watching these things and you like are at these skate parks and whatever. Anybody on a skateboard, do they just pack up and go home?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
No,
like
no.
seriously, like it's
We're
like
usually pretty stokey.
So
yeah.
I think a lot of it really depends. So since I know skateboarding, I'm from skateboarding. I've been in skate parks my entire life. So, since I was 6. So with that being the case, I kind of understand a lot of the nonverbal communications in a skate park. So I kind of know when to
Pecking order.
I know how
Yeah,
to
yeah.
work that whole
Yeah.
line. But when I show up on a one wheel, everybody's always like super stoked and kind of blown away. I've had a couple skaters hop on it. One of them who hopped on it who shouldn't have hopped on it. Rest
yeah.
in peace, his phone. And
Jeez,
and
Summer.
then I've only had one person like really give me like the stink face. That was
Yeah.
it. And he couldn't say anything because he saw that I was doing things the way
you
I was
were-
doing them.
Yeah.
Right.
And
What
not
so-
like
that
you were
$100
some
challenge
noob.
we were gonna do?
Oh, we won't talk about that.
Yeah,
I wanna
yeah, you gotta
know.
tell them about
What
the
is
$100
it?
challenge.
Okay, so the $100 challenge.
do it.
So I wanna go to it's kind of
we're
mulling over
doing
some
it.
we're mulling over some marketing ideas, right?
Oh, we're
Yeah.
doing it.
And so the
Sounds
whole
like it's
idea
happening.
Is I'm gonna go to a skate park and I want to go to Linda Vista here, and then I want to have a sign that says, "Try your luck for $100." So I have a $100 bill. So the whole idea is that hey, if you can no stall the fakie on this quarter pipe, this one wheel, you got $100.
Wow.
I wouldn't
And I
even
want
attempt
to
it.
I want to see if anybody wants to try it because that's
Like, do they
really
only
honestly
get
going to tell me if they're interested.
Yeah, do they only get one go, or are you going to give them practices?
Three tries.
Okay,
Three,
okay.
Nintendo rules. It's always the Nintendo rules.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I just needed to find if it's one, I get one shot, then I could see that very problematic.
Yeah.
3 times, there is a chance for a really select amount of human beings to do it, maybe.
and then
But
you
I
need
got
to be
100,
like,
yeah.
here,
We got some pretty good skaters out here.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I'm
That-
walking into this fully expecting to lose the $100 bill.
Yeah.
that'll be fun. I'm here to hear
I
how
think
that
it'd be
goes.
fun, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
You know, and that's
sweet.
the thing is like not making it sound like it's a challenge to be like you can't do this, but more of an invitation of hey, yo, I know you can do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then you also just hand them
think it's
one of
fun.
your magazines. Here you go. Take a look at this.
Yeah.
You know, like when they win it, like,
Yeah.
sweet. That's awesome. Put it out there in people's hands.
That's so cool.
Exactly.
I'm here for that. I'd love to be able to watch that and see what happens out of that. That would be very entertaining. I really think
I
the
think
trick
so.
trick competition, like even as we just watched your compilation a few moments ago, I'm just mesmerized by it. I know I don't want to ride like that. It just isn't, but I'm mesmerized by it. Like it draws me in. I
Yeah.
could watch that all day. That's something, in our office here, Lily doesn't always appreciate it all the time, but I have surf documentaries going on the TVs in our office. I have skateboarding, for a while there, the one wheel documentary, they did what was it?
113.
Yeah, 113. We played that on repeat. We just don't have enough content to fill days upon days in an office of one wheel content like that. And so
Yeah.
to have trick competitions and stuff, you're going to end up with great marketable things, either in photos and videos, to be able to say, hey, listen, fans, you can come see this at this next event. And again, I'm
Yeah.
not Somebody's going to go, are you poo-pooing racing? No way. I love racing. Racing's going to stay just like in motocross. There, you got dirt bikes. You have all the different genres of it. Snowboarding, different genres of it. You have the racing. You have the half pipe. You have the trick company, right? You have all of these different spots that fall inside the sport. So I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's trying to figure
No,
out how.
because we all ride. Yeah.
Right. It's going down and appreciating what, like, Cricket and Bodie do, appreciating what you guys do over there, and how do we help that side of the sport go, because that's going to give eyes to the other side of the sport of watching who goes the fastest through some gnarly terrain.
Yeah, because I don't do that. That's not my thing. I'll
My thing.
I'll go rip the trail. I'll rip trails. I love trails. They're super fun because I have a motocross background and riding motorcycles through trails. So there's a level of enjoyment for that for me. It's just I can't do it in a competition sense. It just doesn't vibe with me in the right way. So what vibes with me is my own personal battle on a ramp and like exploring something that I think is impossible. But let's find out.
And it all brings attention. It all brings
does.
attention. That's what we want. Yeah.
Watching what all the pros or anybody that does it at a high level is mesmerizing, right? Anyone doing something at a high level is eye-catching. So to watch one-wheelers going through trails and going over rock gardens or dropping off of a mega drop, wow. Watching
that
someone
tail grab going over a roller, that was insane.
Yeah. Just it's all captivating, and it will help the sport. And so I love watching the progressions of this. I'm here for the magazine to continue to document it because we've got to do a great job documenting it. It'll be great in 50 years to look back and go, oh yeah, we were at the ground level of the sport and where it is today, being those that document it from magazine side, podcast side, and videos. It's pretty cool. It's gonna be fun. So are you guys pioneers? Yeah. Are you guys going to make it to Dirt Surfers this year?
I am not. Unfortunately, I have a film thing I gotta go do. I can't really talk about it, but it's gonna be so sick. But
Sounds
awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Okay.
We start filming on the 17th. So.
Okay.
I was on the fence with going, but the magazine is probably gonna arrive that week, which makes it really problematic.
Yeah.
So we'll have to reach out to our partners to cover the event for us. If the magazine comes in days before Dirt Surfers, I'll jump on a plane and bring a bundle.
Love it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, how could you not, right?
We don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it's been a week and a half of just getting the proof.
Yeah.
Right.
To get to that point where they approve it so they send us, and they're very expensive. Those proofs are.
Yep.
They're super.
Yeah, they don't come by
expensive,
free. Nothing's free.
No.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
No,
I
it
just
costs
want
about as
to.
much as a pint.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you guys that during this live stream, a couple people have subscribed to the magazine. So
That's great.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
yeah,
Yes.
Do you guys?
It's weird because it's a collectible. The first one I have, some people are like, dude, will you guys sign it? And I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, man. Yeah. we'll
that's
sign it."
actually a
You
cool
just
way
should
to.
sign all of them.
That'd be a cool marketing piece. Is that hey this grab a piece of history is the first one we'll
Yeah.
offer.
Yeah.
And
So
then at Float Life Fest, Justin's going to be auctioning off one of the second proof that we did in office, because we got this really nice laser printer to check all the coloring and things like that. So we're signing that and authenticity. And then
Nice.
Justin's going to auction that off with a signed copy at Float Life Fest for, I think it's a charity.
that's pretty cool. So, do you guys have a goal, a target of how many subscribers you're trying to get to? How are you
We
trending
have
on that?
3,000 issues, and we have to sell 3,000 issues before we do another print.
Yeah, just
Wow.
3,000. That's all we're doing.
3,000
That's
on the
limited
first
run.
one. Yeah. It's limited.
So are
There's
you-
only- There's only that much.
Do you feel like, man, we're gonna hit it, or you need more push? Like you need to get to these events?
We need more push. I think it's a lot of work figuring out the advertising and things
Yeah.
like that. And if we have wholesaling opportunities, or getting in with
Distributors.
distributors, it's a bit of a whole new world. But yeah, we need help with a push for sure.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
metrics look really good on it, but the metrics have go past the 300 or 400 people that are at festivals that
Yeah.
are like in communities, and like some people who don't go the social media side, getting that reach out and that was it guerrilla marketing or word of mouth is really going to be awesome.
mhm.
Yeah.
And then just out there, people are in the lifestyles.
Right.
You know, it's really a beautiful magazine.
I cannot
Um,
wait to see it. When we get our hands on it, we'll make sure we're helping push it through our podcast and things of that nature. To again, we'll have a select audience that watches this episode because of the title, and then next
Yeah.
week it'll be a different group of people that are watching it, and that's just how we've caught on. Is it's I'm interested on that, I'm not interested in this, and so as we mention it every week, hopefully we can help get you to that tier where you feel comfortable to be able to do another issue, and that you're not breaking your bank to do it. That it's something that's lucrative for you guys. Because man, it'd be really fun to have this for years to come. It really would.
And that's a big thing too. Is like when I was submitting the final pages to the printer, like you have to go through and you have to submit each page. Now I've seen these pages well over 1,000 times in a row.
so much.
You know, but I took my last moment of approving the pages. Like this is it. When you approve this, it goes to print. And I looked at everything, and dude, the amount of stoke that welled up, even after seeing it so many times, of like, okay, I feel like this is really good. Like
Yeah.
I feel like this is epic.
Yeah, I
I
was a
think
proud parent.
it
for
was like a
sure.
really huge
Yeah.
point of accomplishment.
And
to
to
get to
have
that.
our people that are our mentors and things, because we have a few people that are in industry of magazines and
Mhm.
have done a bunch of them in sports and whatnot, review it and come back to us with stoke and like basically telling us, oh, you know, this is good, do this, and
Yeah.
giving us advice. And it was all conversations we had in the beginning of what we wanted the magazine to be.
Yeah,
Mm.
they basically told us we were spot on with competing on a much more grander scale. So we'll
Yeah.
see. You know, if it connects to everybody and it hits home, like it definitely that's what to be
I mean, we're
expected.
committed. This is our business.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
this is what we love to do.
yeah,
And spent years being a general contractor, don't love to do it anymore. And
Well, let's hope this one
love to
takes
do
off.
this. Working in our passions is our best work.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard somebody say this the other day. When so many people are trying to figure out what's my why for my life and how do I find it. Somebody said the other day, find out what you love to do and other people love you doing, and somewhere in the middle is what you should be doing. What you love to do and what other people love you doing.
That's
somewhere
good.
in there
Yeah.
is what you're created to do. I was like, that's so good.
And
So-
that's
Oh,
very
yeah.
evident that's true for this
Yeah.
with you too, and it's exciting to see how it'll evolve.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're-
because we have the racer and the trick rider,
Yeah.
so we're right there.
And
It's a-
you know, we're creatives, artists, kind of guys.
Yeah, you can see
Weirdos.
that you have the heart,
Yeah.
the heart for it too, for the
I'm a
community.
dork,
And
not a weirdo.
True.
But you guys also have a good pulse on the community, as
Yeah,
I've
for
seen
sure.
you guys all at different events and stuff. You're in there, and you're passionate about it, and you speak up when it's like, hey, this isn't really. I don't think this is the way it should be done. How can we fix that and those things? And now you're gonna have a platform to get other people collaborating in on it. It's gonna be a cool thing. So we're
Changing that platform's been a big thing with the magazine too, because it's like not having a comment section is really, really nice.
I bet.
And
I'm here
not
for that
trying
too.
not trying to write something that's controversial. And
Right.
like you can hand out like acknowledgments and not get people snapping back in it and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
yes,
So it's really allowing a lot of moments for people
right,
to get validated. And I mean, last year so much improvements happened during the season. Honestly, there was a lot of like go back and forths and stuff like that. But at the end of the season, it's like, wow, like stuff really like got improved.
yeah,
And like this year, it's like it's insane. Like I know numbers are down on some of the events, but like the way ORL's been handling it, the way everybody's been handling it, has just been like it's another level up. You see it, the evolution of not just the writing, but also the events and
Right.
that all happening at the same time, even with
Yeah.
Future Motion and, you know, other vendors and things like that.
Yep.
It's
Yeah, I
really
think
cool.
the attendance fluctuating is a little bit of the rules change. I don't have to beat everything to get maximum points. I can actually show
Yeah.
up to the final event and have a chance still. I think that does change the landscape, if you will, because the other way was some of it. If you have enough
Quit your
money,
job and go on tour.
you're that's the best way to get the most maximum points, right? Is like that style. If you have the cash flow, or you can change your lifestyle to do it and live in a car, that's going to help in banking points, not taking anything away
Yeah.
from people's skills. It's just math. Now you have, hey, you just need 3 events, best scores of your top 3 events. Doesn't matter if you go to all of them. It's top 3, or you can just come in and do a qualifier.
That's what I plan to
Yep.
do.
I think
Yeah.
it'll evolve to more competitors too. I really
I-
think it's going to
yeah.
evolve to more competitors, especially regional competitors.
Yep.
Because there's people here that don't race, and I'm just like, dude, I'm
Yeah.
glad you don't,
Yeah.
because you
Especially.
blow me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think attendance is going to be up big time for Race to the Rail. Those guys are they are working really, really hard to like bring about a good event. I mean, the fact that you know we're going to have a trick event at Race for the Rail.
And then to have Legends and Clydesdales
Yeah.
actually be competing,
Yeah,
even
Which
though
you
you know,
were-
they're like kind of lost the pro moniker, but we understand why.
But
Doesn't mean
you
we have to print it that way though.
That's funny. Because hey, if it makes it to print, it's truth. See, it's true. It's true. That's the old soul in me. That's what you know. Anyways, you know, Brad. Last year you were advocating a lot for those categories in this, and now here you are a year later.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, at times, right? A lot of weight you
Yeah.
carried, and to see this year that yes, pro is gone, but you get to Race for the Rail. That
Yeah.
means somebody was listening. Somebody was.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they were listening, absolutely. And
So-
so like, and to be with a few people in there that I was really in people's ears, like confiding with,
Yeah,
that really, you know, helped make it happen, which was really cool. I don't want to take any credit for it. I was just the one kind of speaking up a
Yeah,
little
and-
bit. But I mean, people like Mike Eretz and like Richard Stovall, or like on the Clydesdale, Sebastian, like the things that they did really got it recognized of how entertaining and just competitive it is.
yeah. I think
And, you
also.
know, to peer off like that's important.
Yeah, I think also the moves with ORL is allowing something like dirt surfers to do their circuit. I think that all of a
Yeah.
sudden is like, I love that idea where you have this circuit of, you know, dirt surfers brand. And so you're like, I'm going to do the three events and I could be the dirt surfers champion. I could see where you get, you know, go 3 years down
Absolutely.
and so you have dirt surfers champion. And let's say there's out in San Diego area, 3 races and they become the San Diego champion. And all of a sudden you bring those champions together and now let's find the best, right? Like you could just see where this could build.
It's the coolest thing because the
Yeah.
season never ends now. The day race rail is over. You're in a new season. So you have these
Yes.
opportunities of people doing series. And
Yeah.
you have the opportunities of paying attention to points and maybe assigning points to something like an open and printing it or something like that. And that becomes a whole nother league.
Yes,
mean-
exactly.
Does not say that we did that, but you never know.
You don't. But it could be so cool if
so-
it does.
Yeah, imagine if that would be an issue. We'll see.
Yeah. Good, you know what?
I'd subscribe to the next one though.
Yeah. I'm
I'd
here
subscribe
for
to
it
one
too.
that's coming out to find out.
Yeah. You know what would be awesome as well is one day we're gonna have an athlete at these events that's gonna win the trick competition and the race competition. That would
I mean-
that would be so cool.
we'll see.
You
We'll
got
see how
Kyle.
we
You got the Kyle
Wait,
Hansons in the
That's
world.
He
that's
could do
kinda-
it.
That's kind of like a
Yeah.
Deion Sanders.
Yeah, 2 sports. Yeah, it's Sean White.
Yeah.
It's Sean White of
Yeah.
the sport where he could
He
do
can do it all.
so.
Like I could see Kyle doing it. Kyle won Race for the Rail.
Yeah.
And he just won what, Lemonade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lemonade.
He came in second at
No, yeah,
he
second.
came at Let It Ride.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah,
like,
he could
legitimately,
do it.
He won Race for the Rail.
he could do it. It would
Yeah.
be
Super
it
fun
would
to
be
watch.
awesome. Well, boys, thank you for your
guys
time
were
today. So much fun. We could talk to you guys all day. The vibes are good, but the sun is starting to hit you, Brad. Your shade is no longer. We don't want you to get a sunburn. But thank you for taking time.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for taking time to catch up the community on the stoke that you guys are bringing to us. I hope many more continue to subscribe to the magazine as we're trying to get you to. We want to help get to 3,000 subscribers for you guys so we can get another issue out. And so we're here for what you guys are doing. So thank you. Thank you for creating something.
If
for
you
the
haven't
community.
subscribed to
appreciate it.
this, go check it
So,
out.
Yeah, we had one more
Subscribe
subscriber in that time.
and submit. Subscribe and submit.
Yeah,
submit.
tell the stories.
Submit stuff.
Yeah,
Tell the stories.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't tell us what's going on, we can't write about it.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's already too many things happening for one individual or group to get all the stories. They got to start pumping in to you. And so,
Well, we want to hear them too. You
We
know.
want to hear 'em. We want to hear those community stories big time.
Yeah.
There's so many throughout the world. I mean, we want to hear them.
yeah,
We want to put them in and feature them.
brilliant.
Very
That's
cool.
so exciting. So it's going to be fun to watch this thing go.
Yeah, you guys were great.
So thank you for your time. Thank you for your passion for the magazine and the sport in the community. And again, it was a pleasure to hang with you guys. I know we talked about other things off camera, like bringing. I mean, when you get going, you're just rolling into the conversations. A good conversation. We'll have you guys back on. Maybe in a couple weeks when you have a hard copy in your hand, we'll have
Yeah.
you on for like 10 minutes, and you can kind of thumb
Perfect.
through, going, "Hey, this is what it looks like." Another way just to re-promote the magazine.
Yeah.
And people, you'll have it in your hands, and people can go, "If I subscribe today, this gets mailed out ASAP." So
Yeah, we can also always just take a video, send it to you, and have you have something you can thumb through that's a nice quality image.
yeah, if you guys want to make a small promo, we'll play it every
For
week
sure.
for a while for you guys.
Oh,
Just-
wow.
Well, we
As-
love that so much.
So do a 30-second commercial, and we'll just say, "All right, got a
Yeah.
commercial for the Get Stoked magazine
Yeah, we
right
could
here."
Totally do that.
It'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
So if
We
you
can put
have
that
one of
together.
those, put it together. We'll run it for a while for you guys. All right?
Thank you.
appreciate
That
it.
means so much. I appreciate
Yeah.
that a lot.
And we'd love to be back on the show.
Yeah.
actually.
We'll have you back. This was fun. This was fun. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your
Bye,
afternoon.
guys.
Okay?
Great chatting
guys.
with you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Jazz fingers.
Man, jazz fingers. Yeah, that great guys.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
fun.
fun.
Man, again, it's so much fun to sit there and talk with somebody that they can talk and
Yeah,
share their
they-
stories.
Well, they have a heart for this, and they are passionate about it, and it's just super fun to see. I might have to write an article in. I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's
Okay, let's do that real
go.
quick before we sign off. Lil, what would be one article you would submit or talk about on the community? I know
Oh,
I'm
I
putting
was thinking. No, I was thinking about how we could write something about what it takes to put on events in the Onewheel community and like my perspective from volunteering, because
Ooh,
we've
that's
done
good.
that. We've brought a lot of people to volunteer at
Yeah.
the races.
the other side of the race that
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good angle, actually.
Yeah.
What's it take to be a gate starter?
Sure.
How much pressure's on you? How about you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like titles of that, like the gatekeeper.
Well, that's not for us. That would be for them
I
too.
know, but just like, I think I'd naturally have to do something with the family, like what
Yeah,
it
that'd
what
be
it
great.
takes to prepare for a race or something,
Yep.
with kids in one.
I
wheels
think
of
I
some
would.
sort.
I like where you're going. I would get away from the race because I would
But
want it
just-
to be big for the like. What's it take to have every child
On a
and
one-
husband and
yeah.
wife on a one wheel?
And why, I think
And
there's
why
so
it's
many
fun and
different
important.
avenues of why we do that. It
Right.
we love the racing side of it. We love going to these events, and that's
Absolutely
one thing our
love that.
family does together. But that's not the only thing we do. We built our whole trail system for our family and why we did that. And so I think there's a lot of how you can point to as a family event.
Yeah, we absolutely love the dirt surfers races of the world, and we'll. It would take a lot for us to never be at that. It would be, but there's so much more to one wheeling because that's a week in our life. There's 51 other weeks, and that
Right.
we're on our one wheels, and we're sitting around the table talking about it. That'd be a good article. That would be a really good article. But again, what a pleasure to have them on. Really quick, if you missed it, you're like, where do I get signed up? We'll put it back on the screen. Their website is getstoked.com. Is that right?
No. It's
Put it back on the.
is it getstoked.com? No, it's
Yeah,
Get
Get
No,
Stoked.
it's Get Me Stoked.
Oh, Get Me Stoked. Sorry, I lied. Thank you for the correction.
getmestoked.com.
GetMeStoked.com.
And then here you have the three. You can have a single issue, quarterly subscription, or annual.
Obviously, the prices, the quarterly and the single are the same
No,
per issue?
No, well, quarterly, if you want a single issue, you pay 20. If you want quarterly, you're paying 24 times a year,
Yeah.
which would be $80. Or you can just do the annual right then and there, and it's 70.
$70. But again, here's
Might
how
as
I
well
view
do
this.
the quarterly, Holly, like you're saying.
Here's how I view this. It's like
Or the
any
annual.
Kickstartering fund that you see out there, and people are like, you're never promised a product. When Onewheel kicked off, a Kickstarter, right? You weren't you understand, I'm investing in this, but I might never get my product. Well, like $70 to help somebody get after their dream, and you're going to get one magazine out of it, hopefully a lot of issues. Jumpstart this thing for these
help
guys.
them
Get
go.
them
They
off
need
the
those-
ground.
They need what? 3,000.
Yeah, I don't know their number where they're at right now.
Yeah, but still.
But 3,000, they got to get, they were even alluding to it, it's 300 people at an event. Well, that's 10% if you got 100% of those. And we all know you're not getting 100% of them just because of the nature of people. So we got to get them help.
We talk about it all the time on here that we are still at the very ground level of
A sport.
the one wheel sport.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yep, you got to start somewhere. Pour into what they're doing because it'll make history or you'll be part of history.
Yeah, again, no, it was you, the volunteer thing. One way to get in, and if they're still listening, we're going to give them an idea here. And as obviously we're in this one, but they could grab a different race. If you grab the race volunteers and get them in it and tell it from their angle of the story, most likely they are outside the community.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when we're bringing our crew.
And they'll want to buy that issue.
They'll want to subscribe. They'll want to be a part of the stories
Right.
to
Yeah.
learn the community.
Yeah,
It's
for
a way
sure.
to get the magazine past the writers,
Yeah.
which it would be pretty cool. So as you tell
That's
the
a fun
stories, you
idea.
invite more people. And so, again, don't forget about Dirt Surfers. You can still subscribe, or
Sign up.
You can still sign up. You don't want to miss it. If even just being there as a spectator, you'll enjoy the environment. The circuit that Nick, Rachel, and team is putting together, this is the first one of 3. Don't miss the first one because you don't want to go, I don't know if I'm going to make it to all 3. Get to the first one so if you can get to the next one, which is in Wisconsin in early fall, and then you have Tulsa, right? To get to all 3, you could be the champion of your category.
Cool concept.
Yeah, it's a great concept. Like, again, ground level concept for the one wheel racing community. So get on it. Again, you showing up to the race is helping Nick and Rachel live out their dreams.
And for sure, you need to make sure that you're at this one because this is the kickoff of that series.
Right.
So you may not know if you can go to the other ones just yet, but you got to get to this one. So at least get to Dirt Surfers Eureka Springs and be there for that one in case you don't know. If you know your schedule, great. And you'll be at all 3. Awesome. If not, you still got to have this one. So make sure you're there.
Yeah, and then the last thing, again, we could talk all day about Dirt Surfers. I was just thinking while we were on here, I got to think of a way, we've never done this, to go live from Dirt Surfers next week.
Yeah.
It would be
we
one.
talked about it
It would
every
have
year.
to be a stagnant shot.
We talked about it every year.
Yeah, we should do it. But a stagnant shot
That'd
because we
be
don't
awesome,
have the
'cause then you
ability to
can-
switch.
You can pull in, which was fine. That'd be awesome because then we can pull in some of those that are around.
Yeah.
You might get a chance to see some of
The
the
pros are
racers.
around.
pull in
We're going to
Nick.
ponder it.
We
We're
might
pondering.
actually get Rachel on camera.
Yeah, that one. So elusive. She's so
I think
fast
we
on a
should
She
woman.
is.
figure
she
it
is.
out.
But if for races and stuff as this race season, one of our go-to early on in the season and early on in the development of pads for your shoulders, elbows, back was the jackets, the TAC jackets from Float Life. They're wonderful. They're flannels. They're warm, so they're great for winter. I ride in winter with that all the time because they're warm. And then it's like, why not? Extra padding. One of the things we've talked about so many times is a warm season version. So it's a cool jacket. I think we have a picture of that we can throw up here.
Oh, when it's warm
Warm.
out.
They just released it. Here we go.
Nice.
That's
So
awesome.
it's breathable mesh now. It's got the level 2 pads in it. It's got the pocket on the inside. Elijah looks so good. And I would choose
and
the
that
all black.
California style.
That all black. I like that black.
Oh, that's cool.
The cost is we have it. It's $169. Of course it is. And there you go. There's the up close.
Mesh Breeze Bomber.
I think this is great. Good move. It's easy. This is a great way to pad up and not have to put on all individual padding. If you don't ride like Luke Austin, this is great. If you ride like Luke Austin, you need about 5 layers of padding. But that will get you through for just your normal, hey, I hit a rock and plowed in the ground, I'm okay. I love that. Grab those because we like those. Again, we have the version 1. So version 2's got to be, the padding's got to be better because it's number 2.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Lil, thanks for being on the show. Sorry that you got a cold.
That's okay.
I don't know that anybody even knew that.
Well,
I don't know. I couldn't breathe at one point, so I had to go blow my nose. And I think your second oldest is just absolutely repulsed by someone blowing their nose around them.
legend.
No,
Epic.
epic.
Oh,
Second
epic.
oldest.
He
Second
can't even
oldest,
look
sorry.
at me.
You can't? What's wrong with that guy?
He made a face yesterday, and I took note of that forever.
So go blow your nose right by him
No,
every
not
time?
necessarily.
I
Just
would do
that he doesn't like it.
Epic, what's your deal, bro?
He does not like it. I can tell you right now.
Your face said it.
I know he doesn't
Own your
like
face,
it.
man. Own it. We also have our racing jerseys for sale.
Yep.
We have 50 of them coming. There is our racing jerseys. They're really comfortable. Actually, I got to suggest that these are not just racing. They're just everyday wear, super comfortable. One of my favorite things to do now that the weather's got warm is to run around with that with shorts because it's so breathable.
Nice.
Breathable. Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's
nice.
Yes, Holly. What were you gonna say?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now I know.
there you
Now
go.
I remember. I was talking to the guys that are printing these and everything, and they're like, "Where do you come up with these ideas? Where'd you get this?" And I was like, "Well, my husband made the torso, and my son's made the arms."
Yeah.
And he just thought it was pretty cool. And he's like, "I just can't stop looking at it. I'm trying to find all the things." So every time you look at it, there's
something
different,
new.
something new to see.
It is pretty cool to just stare at it.
You can reach out. You can Venmo me, and we'll have them with us.
But they can't find
shortly.
you. Like, can they just search Holly?
Holly Mendenhall.
I don't know.
Well, if here's
I
here's
would.
the,
Fail.
I wouldn't
Fail.
be able to test
here's
that.
the real
I'd have
truth.
to download it on a
you
different
can
phone.
message Scott. It may get lost in translation.
Oh, just DM me and we'll
Yeah.
get you the link. But they're $89, which we're stoked to be able to bring to you at such a cheap rate. So 50 of those coming once they're gone. We might order more, but maybe not as well. So get on it while supplies last, everybody.
True story.
Lily, anything else you want to add today?
See you guys at Dirt Surfers.
Okay. Holly, anything you want to add today?
See you guys at Dirt Surfers.
Oh, man, I might see you at Dirt Surfers, everybody. Have a fabulous Wednesday,
everyone.
everybody. See you later.